Does it feel like stress has taken control of your life lately? You try so hard to control every little detail, every outcome, but no matter how tightly you grip, everything seems to fall apart. Am I right? Now imagine if instead of holding on even tighter, you learn to let go. That's where the true power lies. In this video, I'm going to show you something that could change everything. We're diving into how you can manifest your deepest desires without running yourself into the ground. Yes, you heard me right. No magic tricks or waiting around for things to fall into your lap. Today, you'll discover powerful principles rooted in Stoic philosophy that will teach you how to release stress, take back control of your life, and most importantly, attract everything you've always dreamed of. Trust me, it's not what you expect, but that's exactly why it works. Are you ready to unlock the power that's already within you? Let's dive in. Before we go any further, I want you to step into someone else's shoes for a moment. Picture this Javier. He was a top executive, a man who seemed to have it all together. His schedule was always packed, his decisions always firm, and the pressure never stopped. Every day it was a constant race to stay on top, to never fail. But at what cost? One day, in the middle of an important presentation, something happened that completely threw him off course. Javier, the man who always had an answer for everything, found himself suddenly paralyzed, unable to move, unable to speak. A panic attack gripped him, leaving him completely frozen. In that moment, he felt vulnerable for the first time in years. As the overwhelming fear settled in something inside him, screamed, "What am I doing with my life?" And it was in that moment of despair that he made a decision that would change everything. On a friend's suggestion, Javier did something unimaginable. He disconnected. He went to a cabin in the mountains. No emails, no phone calls, just him and the silence of nature. At first, his mind raced with thoughts of work and what people might think. But as he walked the trails, listening to the wind whisper through the trees, something began to shift. It was there that he remembered a profound phrase from Marcus Aurelius: "Accept everything that happens, even if it's different from what you expected." And that's when it hit him. Javier realized something powerful. He didn't have to control everything for life to unfold as it should. He didn't have to be in charge of every single detail for things to work out. It was in letting go that he would find peace. When Javier returned to the city, he was a changed man. He stopped cramming every gap in his schedule with meetings, thinking that constant busyness would lead to success. Instead, he carved out time for what truly mattered, time to reflect, to care for himself, and to reconnect with his family. And here's the surprising part: when he finally let go of the need to control everything, his life didn't fall apart. In fact, things got better. His work environment improved, his results soared, and for the first time in a long time, he felt at peace with himself. Now let me ask you, how many times have you felt like Javier, carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, unable to let go? How often have you felt that the tighter you hold on, the more everything slips through your fingers? Maybe today is the day to stop, to say enough, and discover what happens when you allow calm to work its magic. Are you ready to let go and relax? Here's a quick exercise. Imagine you're at the beach. You grab a handful of sand and squeeze it tightly in your hand. At first you feel in control, like you've got a firm grip on things. But the more you squeeze, the more the sand slips through your fingers. The harder you try to hold on to it, the faster it escapes. This is what stress does. It makes you believe that by holding on tighter, you're in control. But in reality, it's the exact opposite. The more you try to control, the more you push things away. So, what if you stopped squeezing? What if you let the sand slip through your fingers, allowing things to unfold naturally? The results might surprise you, but it all starts with learning to let go. Let's take this journey together and discover the power of releasing control. Ready? In the coming moments, I'm going to walk you through some key principles that will guide you on this path. We'll uncover how Stoic philosophy can help you quiet your mind, release the tension, and live in the moment. Stay with me because the transformation you're about to experience will change everything. In the last section, we talked about how trying to control everything can leave you feeling stuck and burnt out, much like holding on to a handful of sand that slips through your fingers. Now let's take that idea further and explore what happens when you finally let go. Have you ever felt like you're spinning your wheels, pushing harder and harder, but not getting anywhere? Sound familiar? That's what happens when we fight to control every detail of our lives. The more we try to dominate every situation, the faster it all seems to slip away like sand running through our hands. You end up stuck in a cycle of frustration, exhaustion, and distance from what you truly want. Does this resonate with you? Let's face it, holding on so tightly isn't going to get you the results you're hoping for. It's like trying to drive a car with the handbrake still on. You push the pedal to the floor, but you don't move an inch. All that happens is you burn out and stay exactly where you are. But what would happen if you released the brake? That's right, you'd move forward with far less effort and a lot more ease. And this is exactly what you need to do in life, let go. Now don't get me wrong, letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop trying or that you throw in the towel. Letting go means trusting the process. It means stepping back and allowing things to unfold naturally. And when you do that, when you stop holding on so tightly, something incredible happens. The universe begins to work in your favor and things fall into place all on their own. Picture this. You're on a family trip that you've planned down to the finest detail. You've got the perfect departure time, the best spots to eat, even games for the kids to keep them entertained. You're the mastermind behind it all, right? But then, of course, nothing goes as planned. There's horrible traffic, a torrential downpour, and your kids decide that it's the perfect moment to throw tantrums. What do? Do you lose it? Do you scream at the universe for not following your plan? Or do you accept that some things are simply beyond your control? Because, my friend, that's life. You can't control traffic, the rain, or tantrums. But you can choose how you react. And this right here is where Stoicism works its magic. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, left us a timeless lesson in his meditations. He said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." It's as if he's telling us to stop wasting energy on the things we can't change. Stop flooring the gas pedal while the handbrake is still on. Release it, and you'll move forward with far less resistance. Because in the end, what matters more, that everything goes according to plan or that you actually enjoy the journey? I know letting go sounds easy in theory, but it can feel impossible in practice. Don't worry, I'm here to guide you through it. Let me share 3 simple steps that will help you let go, relax, and attract the things you truly desire. Step 1. Write it down. The first step is simple but powerful. Grab a piece of paper and write down your worries. Don't overthink it. Just jot down something like, "I'm trying to control this, but I realize I can't." then crumple the paper up and throw it away. This act symbolizes letting go, telling your mind that these worries no longer weigh on you. It's like giving yourself permission to stop carrying that mental baggage. It's liberating, isn't it? Step 2, use the red light pause. Next, we need to incorporate a daily pause. Whenever something doesn't go as planned, take a moment to breathe. Pause. Inhale deeply for a count of 4. Hold it. Now exhale slowly for a count of 6. This simple breathing exercise acts as your daily reminder. Sometimes taking a moment to stop is the only way to move forward. It's your red light moment. Life doesn't always need to be fast-paced. Sometimes slowing down is exactly what you need. Step 3. Make space for nothing. This one is crucial. Schedule time for nothing. Yes, nothing. Even if it's just 15 minutes. During that time, you can listen to music, look at the sky, or just enjoy the silence. This quiet space allows your mind to reset and make room for your clearest ideas and deepest desires. You see, when you stop trying to control every moment, you start thinking more clearly. And that clarity is the key to manifesting everything you truly want. Here's the surprising part: when you let go, life doesn't fall apart like you fear. In fact, it begins to take shape in ways you never imagined. This isn't magic, it's clarity. When you stop wasting energy on things you can't change, you free up mental and emotional space for what truly matters. And the results will astound you. Now imagine if today you chose to let go, just a little. Not everything, just one small step. Stop clinging to that sand. Relax and let life flow. Trust me, change begins the moment you decide to let go. Start your day strong. Have you ever wondered why some days flow effortlessly, as if everything is working in your favor? That's not a coincidence. Let me show you how to start your day in a way that sets the tone for success and peace. The first step starts with your morning mindset. Earlier, we discussed how letting go sets the stage for success. Now, let's dive into how the first few hours of your morning can set the tone for everything else in your day. Have you ever felt like your day is an uphill battle from the moment you wake up? Everything feels like a struggle, right? But let me tell you something. It's not magic or luck that makes some days feel easier than others. Do you know what it comes down to? How you spend the first few hours of your morning. Think of it like tuning an instrument before a concert. Imagine stepping onto stage without adjusting the strings first. It would be a disaster, wouldn't it? But if you take just a moment to tune them, everything falls into harmony. Every note resonates, every chord fits perfectly. That's exactly how your morning works. It sets the tone for the entire day. What you do when you wake up doesn't just influence how you feel, it creates the energy that will carry you through everything that follows. Doesn't that sound like something worth trying? Let me show you exactly what I mean with a personal experience. One morning, instead of my usual routine of jumping out of bed and reaching for my phone, I decided to try something different. I took a few quiet minutes to sit still, take a deep breath, and think about how I wanted my day to unfold. Instead of letting the notifications control my mood, I decided to play my favorite song, one of those tracks that instantly makes you move no matter what. As I made my coffee, I found myself dancing in the kitchen. At first I felt a bit silly, but do you know what happened next? The entire day went better than I could have imagined. Even the little frustrations that usually irritated me felt insignificant. It was as though that burst of energy set the tone for everything that followed. Do you know who else understood the power of mornings? The great philosopher Seneca. He believed that every new day was a gift, a blank check for us to make the most of. He didn't wake up and react to the world. He prepared himself to face it. Seneca spent his mornings reflecting, writing, and aligning his mind with what mattered most to him. This wasn't about waiting for life to happen. It was about taking control of how he responded to it. And guess what? You can do the same. Take those first hours of the day and turn them into a space where you focus your energy. You can start small just by making a few simple changes to your routine. Let me give you a suggestion on how you can begin. Before you even touch your phone, sit down for a moment and take a few deep breaths. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for a couple of seconds, then exhale slowly to a count of 6. Do this 3 times. You'll be amazed at how much of a difference it can make. This simple practice is like giving your body a moment to start with calm and intention. Next, find something that makes your morning special. For me, it's music. Why not try it for yourself? Put on a song that lifts you up, one that makes you feel good. Even if it sounds a little crazy, get up and dance for a few minutes. It doesn't matter if you're alone in the kitchen or getting ready in front of the mirror. You might even laugh at yourself, and that's the point. No one has to see you. The burst of energy that comes from moving your body in the morning can completely transform your mood. Here's another idea before leaving the house. Take a moment to think about one thing you want to achieve that day. It doesn't have to be a major task. Maybe it's something small, like enjoying your lunch without rushing or getting through the supermarket line quickly. These small intentions bring clarity and serve as the first steps toward attracting what you truly desire. So how do you want your mornings to look from now on? Do you want to start your day in chaos, letting everything drag you along, or do you want to take control and set the tone for a day that flows the way you want? My friend, you don't need a perfect routine or to wake up at the crack of dawn. You just need to start strong with calm and intention. Remember, every morning is a new opportunity. How you choose to live it could be the beginning of everything you've ever wanted. Before we continue, if you're finding value in this content, consider subscribing and becoming a member to access exclusive benefits. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments what steps you're willing to take to relax and manifest the life you truly desire. We want to grow together with you. Now that we've covered how to start your day with intention, let's dive into how you can train your mind to stay focused and positive throughout the rest of your day. Think of your mind as a puzzle. When all the pieces are scattered and out of place, it's impossible to see the full picture, isn't it? Everything feels chaotic, like trying to make sense of a mess. But what happens when you take a moment to sort the pieces? You group them by color, by shape, and suddenly something magical happens. The picture begins to come together. My friend, that's exactly how your mind works. When it's cluttered with disorganized thoughts, worries, and stress, what can you see clearly? Nothing but confusion. But when you give it calm and space, what a relief. That's when everything begins to fall into place. Let me share a story with you. A few years ago, a pilot named Chesley Sullenberger, also known as Sully, faced one of those moments most people would call a nightmare. Picture this. You're in command of a commercial airplane with over 150 people on board. Everything's going smoothly until the unthinkable happens. Both engines fail after the plane strikes a flock of birds. Suddenly, the plane loses power and all you see ahead is a crowded city and an icy river. What would most of us have done? Panic? Without a doubt, right? But Sully did something different. He closed his eyes for a split second and took a deep breath. In his mind, there was no room for chaos. He visualized what he needed to do, land the plane on the Hudson River without causing a disaster. Was he certain it would work? Not at all. But he trusted his experience, his team, and most importantly, his ability to stay calm. And do you want to know what happened next? While alarms blared and passengers held their breath, Sully spoke in a firm, clear voice. Brace for impact. It wasn't just a technical message, it was a declaration of confidence. In that moment, he was manifesting what everyone needed, hope that things would turn out okay. Thanks to his calm, focused mind, Sully achieved something extraordinary. He landed the plane on the river and saved everyone on board. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, "What disturbs us is not what happens, but our thoughts about it." Sully couldn't control the engines or undo the bird strike, but he controlled his mind. He turned a chaotic situation into an opportunity to act with clarity and save lives. And that's the lesson we can all learn from his story. When you choose to calm your mind, you stop seeing problems and start seeing solutions. So how can you train your mind to be your best ally? You need to learn how to organize the pieces of your mental puzzle. Here's a simple exercise. Spend just 5 minutes a day thinking about all the worries cluttering your mind like scattered puzzle pieces. But here's the trick. Don't try to solve everything at once. How can you do this without overwhelming yourself? Imagine you're stressed about 3 things at the same time. A tight work deadline, a recent argument with a friend that's still bothering you, and concerns about making ends meet this month. Now think of these worries as puzzle pieces. Take those 5 minutes to sort them out. For example, put the work project in one corner of your mind. Mark it in yellow. It's something you can start working on right away. The argument with your friend that goes in another corner. Maybe orange, because you know it's something you can resolve later with a phone call or message. And your finances. Put that in red, set it aside as a pouch of future pieces to deal with when the time comes. As you sit down to review these pieces, you'll begin to see how each one fits into a larger picture. This simple process will help you clear the clutter from your mind, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. The next time you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts, take a moment to breathe, sort the pieces, and find clarity. Remember, your mind is your best ally when you know how to organize it. And just like Sully, you'll be ready to turn chaos into opportunity. Earlier, we discussed how organizing the pieces of your mental puzzle can bring clarity and calm. Now let's explore how that calmness can transform your approach to life and tasks. When you separate the pieces and give them a designated space, something remarkable happens. You begin to see things clearly. The chaos starts to dissolve. Not everything is jumbled together, fighting for your attention all at once. You may not solve the entire puzzle in that moment, but something even better happens. You no longer feel overwhelmed. Just by sorting the pieces, your mind begins to feel lighter and you start to make progress on what once seemed impossible. Sounds worth trying, right? Remember, when your mind is calm, not only do you feel better, but you also open yourself up to possibilities that once seemed out of reach. A clear mind has the power to manifest what you truly desire. Maybe it's time to stop trying to control everything and start trusting the strength you already have within you. Have you ever noticed that rushing through things is like cooking on a hot pan with no oil? Everything burns faster and nothing turns out the way you hoped. Let me tell you something important. Calmness isn't slowness, it's strategy. It's about doing things at the pace they need to flow smoothly and turn out just right. Picture this. You're preparing for a special dinner with friends. Everything is planned until you get home late. You start chopping the ingredients in a rush. The vegetables end up uneven, the sauce spills everywhere, and the pasta overcooks because you're distracted by the oven. When you finally serve the dish, it's nothing like what you envisioned. Does that sound familiar? Now think of the opposite. You give yourself time. You chop the ingredients, carefully enjoying the process. As the sauce cooks, you taste and adjust the flavors. The pasta turns out perfectly al dente. The result? Not only is the dish delicious, but you also enjoyed the experience. Do you think that's just a coincidence? Absolutely not. Rushing doesn't just ruin recipes, it ruins opportunities. And too often we rush because we see others getting everything done as if life were some kind of race. But listen to me, my friend, everyone has their own rhythm. Comparing yours to someone else's is like staring at a plant hoping it'll grow faster. It just doesn't work that way. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and emperor, understood this well. He said, "The mind is like water. When it's calm, it reflects the world clearly." As an emperor, he had enormous responsibilities on his shoulders, but he didn't try to tackle everything at once. He reflected, prioritized, and acted with calm even in the midst of crises. He kept his mind steady, knowing that the best decisions come when you approach things with clarity and focus. It wasn't about doing things faster, it was about doing them better. I know slowing down can be difficult, especially when everything seems to move at lightning speed. But what if I told you that those small moments of calm are the key to making everything fall into place before you dive into any task? Stop for 2 minutes, just 2. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's the most important thing I can do right now? Mentally organize your steps as if you're tidying up your mind's desk. This simple ritual won't just give you clarity. It will help you act from a more relaxed state. When you're relaxed, things flow better. It's as if everything starts aligning with you. And here's something important. Stop wasting time on multitasking. I know it seems like juggling several things at once is the key to success, but here's the truth that no one tells you. You won't do any of those tasks well. So what should you do instead? Pick one task, just one. Give it your full attention. Think of it like planting a seed. If you give it the care and time it needs, it will grow strong. And once you finish that task, move on to the next. You won't just get more done, you'll do it better. With calmness, you create the space for what you truly desire to manifest more clearly. As the writer and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience." And he couldn't be more right. Imagine how your life would change if instead of racing against the clock, you chose to move forward, calmly savoring each step along the way. No matter how much you have to do, if you take the time to do it well, everything begins to flow naturally. And the best part, you'll feel more in control, more at peace, because when you do things calmly, you create space for what you truly desire to start taking shape. Be grateful for what you have. Picture this: someone hands you a box and tells you that inside is everything you're missing in life. Everything that could change your world. Excited, you open it, expecting something extraordinary, but inside you find only a mirror. At first you're confused. What does this mean? Then it hits you. You don't need more. You just need to see what you already have through new eyes. So often we're so focused on what's next, on what we're chasing, that we forget to appreciate where we are right now. But here's the secret: when you start being grateful for what you already have, something shifts. Life feels lighter, stress fades, and almost like magic, you begin to attract more good things into your life. And speaking of seeing what we already have differently, let me share a story that perfectly illustrates this. It's about a farmer who, like many of us, couldn't stop thinking about all he was missing until he learned an unexpected lesson. Every day, the farmer complained about how small and uncomfortable his house was. "There's no space," he'd say. "I can't rest. Why does this have to be my life?" He was convinced that his life would be better if only he had a bigger, nicer house. One day, desperate for a change, he went to the village wise man for advice. The wise man listened to his complaints and then said, "Do this. Bring your chickens inside the house." The farmer was surprised, but decided to obey. The next day, he returned even more frustrated. "This is worse. I can't move with all these chickens," he complained. The wise man smiled and said, "Now bring the pig inside." Again, the farmer obeyed. But by the third day, he came back furious. "This is a disaster. I can't take it anymore," he cried. The wise man then told him, "Now take the chickens and the pig out." When the farmer returned home, something incredible happened. Suddenly, his small house felt spacious and peaceful. The size of the house hadn't changed, but his perspective had. For the first time, he appreciated what he had. Do you see? Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances. Everything might stay the same, but do you know what it does change? The way you see them. And when you shift your perspective, you start noticing opportunities that were hidden before. The magic of gratitude isn't just that it transforms your mood. It's like it activates a spell in your life. According to psychologist Robert Emmons, being grateful for what you have works like a magic wand, helping you see opportunities where before you only saw problems. This magic aligns you with what truly matters to you, and the best part is you don't need any special tricks to make it work. Gratitude is the wand you've always had in your hands. Of course, this idea isn't new. Seneca once said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." For the Stoics, gratitude was a daily practice. They gave thanks for the small things like the bread they ate, the sunrise, or a meaningful conversation. Because when you train yourself to see the good, you stop wasting energy on what's missing. By doing so, you open the door to manifesting even more good things in your life. So how can you practice gratitude in a more meaningful way? Don't worry, this isn't the usual write down 3 things every day advice. Let's try something different. Set aside a moment once a week to reflect. Find a quiet spot, grab a piece of paper and write down 3 things you're truly grateful for. But here's the twist: really think about why you're grateful for each one. Dive deeper into your reasons. Reflect on how these things impact your life. This practice will help you shift your mindset and see the beauty in your current reality, unlocking the abundance that's already around you. Earlier, we explored how practicing gratitude aligns your mind with your goals and starts the journey toward manifesting your desires. Now let's look at another powerful shift: disconnecting from the noise. Don't stop at just writing down what you're grateful for. Ask yourself, how have these things contributed to what I want to achieve? For example, maybe a friend's support has kept you strong, or a recent challenge has shown you what really matters. Reflecting on this doesn't just help you relax. It aligns your mind with your goals. The more you focus on the good you already have, the easier it becomes to attract what you want. It's as if every small thing you're grateful for builds the path toward your goals, step by step, without you even realizing it. My friend, let me ask you, what are you grateful for today? Share it with us in the comments. This simple act could be your first step toward manifesting what you desire. Because when you're grateful, you're telling the universe, I'm ready to receive more. Disconnect from the noise. Have you ever tried listening to your favorite song while standing in the middle of a street full of honking cars, sirens, and shouting? No matter how hard you try, the noise drowns out the music, doesn't it? That's exactly how we live today. Every notification, every random conversation, every news alert, it's all like background noise, making it nearly impossible to focus on what really matters. Now let me ask you something. How do you expect to discover what you truly want if your mind is trapped in constant chaos? If you don't silence that noise, if you don't create space, you'll never hear the music inside you. Take a look around. How much time do you spend watching what others are doing? Scrolling through social media, reading urgent headlines that, let's be honest, you'll forget by tomorrow. All that noise doesn't just steal your time. It fills your mind with things that don't bring you closer to what you truly desire. Think about it. Every notification, every comparison is like adding another layer of dust to a window. How can you see clearly when everything is smudged? But if you stop, if you disconnect for just a moment, it's like wiping that window clean. Suddenly, you can see what's on the other side. You can see what truly matters, your ideas, your dreams, the opportunities that have always been there, but you just hadn't noticed. Epictetus said it centuries ago. The free man is the one who is not afraid to go to the end of his thoughts. And what do you need to get there? You need to turn off the external noise. You can't reflect on your deepest desires when your mind is trapped in a constant barrage of distractions. Silence is the place where your thoughts have the freedom to grow, transform into actions, and eventually lead to results. Let me ask you, my friend, how many times have you felt like your mind is so full that you can't even think straight? Be honest, you're tired of it, aren't you? All that noise doesn't just exhaust you, it pulls you further away from what really matters. So are you ready to do something that few dare to try? Let's turn off that external noise. But before we go any further, I'll admit it won't be easy. But trust me, it'll be worth it. Here's what I suggest: try a no notification day. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to turn off your phone all day. What I mean is this: set specific times to check messages. For example, only check notifications at 9:00 in the morning and 6:00 in the evening. The rest of the time, ignore them. Believe me, it'll change the way you think, the way you act, and the way you manifest your desires. Earlier, we talked about how disconnecting from external noise helps you focus and manifest your desires. Now let's explore another crucial aspect of manifesting your dreams: getting enough rest. I tried it myself and I noticed the difference immediately. Suddenly, I had time to focus on my projects, stick to my rituals, and most importantly, be present. It was as if something had shifted, allowing me to show up more fully in every moment. And that's when I realized, when you cut out the noise, you make room for clarity and focus. Spend time in nature. Here's another idea: spend time in nature. It doesn't have to be an epic hike. It could be as simple as a walk through a nearby park, or even spending a few minutes in your own backyard. Take just 10 minutes to listen to the sounds around you: the wind, the birds, even the crunch of leaves underfoot. But here's the key: no cheating. Leave your headphones at home. It's just you, your mind and nature. You'll notice something amazing. It's as if nature reminds you of a slower, more authentic rhythm that has always been there for you. When you turn off the noise, it's like being a firefighter facing a blaze. First, you need to put out the flames of chaos and distraction. Only then can you see clearly what lies beneath. In that moment when everything is calm, your mind becomes fertile ground where ideas and desires can begin to bloom. It's in this space of stillness that you can truly focus on what you want and start manifesting it step by step without the flames of noise pulling you off course. Get a good night's rest. Have you ever tried using your phone when it's down to 10% battery? Everything slows down, apps stop responding, and if you don't charge it soon, it shuts off completely. Now, think about this. How often do you live your life with your body and mind running on 10%? Imagine what your days would look like if you started every morning with your battery at 100%. You might be thinking, I don't have time to rest, or I need to use this time to get things done. But what if I told you that mindset is actually doing more harm than good? It's pulling you further away from the life you want to create. Here's the truth that no one tells you: rest isn't wasting time. It's the best investment you can make in yourself. It's the time when your mind and body prepare to shine the next day. And believe it or not, rest isn't just collapsing into bed after an exhausting day. It's about creating a space where your body and mind can truly regenerate and recharge. Think of it like maintaining your car. If you don't change the oil, tune the engine, or check the brakes, your car might keep running for a while, but eventually it'll break down. Your body and mind are the same way. They need a nightly checkup. When you rest well, you don't just feel better. You think better, make better decisions, and put yourself in a much clearer position to manifest what you truly desire. And no, this isn't just a metaphor. Science backs it up. At night, while you sleep, your brain goes into deep cleaning mode. Did you know that while you rest, a tiny cleaning crew works overtime in your head? It's true. A study from the Center for Neuroscience at the University of Rochester found that during sleep, your brain removes toxins built up throughout the day. It's like sweeping away worries and stress, leaving everything ready for a fresh start. When you sleep well, you wake up as if you've hit the reset button, clear-headed, focused, and ready to tackle what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius, the great emperor, understood this perfectly. He said, "Even the soul needs rest to be effective." Despite the immense responsibilities on his shoulders, he knew he couldn't give his best without time to recover. For him, rest wasn't a luxury. It was a strategy. He reflected at the end of each day, disconnecting from the worries of leadership. If an emperor could find time to rest, why can't you? I get it. You're probably thinking, resting. Well, sounds great, but with work, worries, and family, how am I supposed to make it happen? Don't worry. I've got a simple nighttime ritual. You can start today to make rest a reality. First, turn off all screens at least 30 minutes before bed. Yes, even your phone. Instead, pick up a book, something relaxing that won't overstimulate your mind. This simple step can set the stage for deep, restorative sleep. Let me tell you something you might not want to hear. Failure is inevitable. Think of your failures as the first strokes on a blank canvas. At first, they might look like meaningless smudges, but with every additional stroke, the picture starts to take shape. And here's the good news: it's not the end of the world. It's just the beginning of something better. Did you know that many of the greatest inventions in history began as mistakes? Let me share one that you probably use almost every day. Back in the 1970s, a scientist named Spencer Silver was working to create a super strong adhesive for his company 3M. But instead of a strong adhesive, he ended up with the exact opposite, a weak adhesive that barely stuck to surfaces. What seemed like a failure was shelved for years. But then one of his colleagues, Art Fry, had a brilliant idea. He used that weak adhesive to create notes that could stick and peel off easily without leaving marks. The result? The Post-it note. Yes, you heard that right. The Post-it, something we now consider indispensable for organizing our lives, was actually the result of a failure. Isn't that incredible? Do you see where I'm going with this? It's not about avoiding failure. It's about how you face it. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your mistakes don't define who you are, but they can shape where you're going if you use them as tools. Every stumble can become a step towards something far greater. Listen, failures might feel like enormous walls, but in reality, they're doors waiting to be opened. So how do you open them? The first and most important thing is to ease up on yourself. We often demand perfection, and that leads to a distorted view of our own mistakes. Think about it. How many opportunities have you avoided because you were afraid to fail? When you allow yourself to fail, you also allow yourself to learn. It's like a rehearsal. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time, because every attempt brings you closer to the result you're seeking. Second use, what you learn from your mistakes as a staircase. Every failure is a step that takes you higher, but only if you choose to climb it. Did you mess something up? Great. Ask yourself, what can I take from this? What will I do differently next time? Every lesson makes you stronger, wiser, and better prepared for what's ahead. It's a process, and every step counts. Finally, focus on the present. Too often we get stuck in our past mistakes as if they're chains we can't break free from. But here's the thing, what you did before doesn't define what you'll do now. You have new tools, new knowledge, and a new opportunity in front of you. Ask yourself, what can I do today to prove to myself that I've grown? With every new attempt, you're building something better. Do you see how everything starts to come together when you change how you view your failures? It's not about erasing them. It's about using them to your advantage. When you do this, you'll notice something interesting. You relax. You no longer feel that constant pressure to be perfect. And in that state of calm, things start to flow naturally. It's as if the path that once seemed unclear begins to take shape in front of you. Imagine this, the path ahead, once full of obstacles, begins to clear. The more relaxed you are, the easier it becomes to attract what you truly desire. Why? Because failures aren't the end. They're the spark that ignites something new. So what masterpiece could you create if you stopped fearing those first strokes? Embrace your failures, because each one is a step toward the complete picture of the life you truly want to create. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself sitting in a movie theater. The lights dim, the projector hums to life, and something unexpected appears on the screen. It's you. You're the main character in the film. But this isn't just any movie. It's the story of your life exactly as you've always dreamed it. Every goal you've set is achieved. The people who inspire you are there. The moments that make your heart race, every detail is there, clear and vivid, as if it's already happening. Now, my friend, here's the big question. What would this movie look like if you were the director? Believe me, visualization isn't just a nice exercise, it's a powerful tool. It's like writing the script for your movie before the cameras even start rolling. When you take the time to vividly imagine what you want, you're not just dreaming. You're training your mind to make it real, because everything you build outwardly begins within. Think about it. If you don't have a clear idea of what you want, how can you expect to get there? As Seneca wisely said, no wind is favorable for the sailor who doesn't know where he's going. In other words, you need a direction, a clear vision to guide you. But here's the key. It's not enough to just imagine it. You have to feel it as if it's already happening. That's the magic of this exercise. It helps you relax, align with your desires, and start moving toward them with confidence. Did you know that your brain doesn't distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what actually happens? That's what psychologist and author Joe Dispenza explains. When you visualize something in detail, your mind interprets it as if it's real. It's like creating an invisible blueprint for what you want to build, and this changes everything. It changes how you move through the world, your energy, your decisions, and even the opportunities that come your way begin to align with that vision. It's like tuning an instrument. Suddenly, everything starts to sound the way it should. I'm sure this idea has you intrigued and ready to try it out. So how can you make it part of your life? First, spend just 5 minutes a day closing your eyes and visualizing your goal in detail. Don't just picture what you want, live it mentally. For example, if your goal is to write a book, imagine yourself at your desk typing the final page, seeing your name on the cover, and holding the book in your hands. How does it feel? What emotions run through you when you bring your dreams to life in your mind? Your brain starts acting as if they're already happening. Next, write your goals as if you've already achieved them. This isn't just a list, it's a declaration. For example, instead of writing, "I want to have my own business," write, "I have a successful business where I do what I love." Fill it with details. What's your daily routine like? What impact are you making? Earlier, we talked about how visualization and clarity can set the course for your dreams. Now let's dive into how trust plays a vital role in making those dreams a reality. Here's one more tip. Make this process relaxing. Don't treat it as just another task on your to-do list. See it as a moment to enjoy. Play some soft music, sit in a quiet place, and let yourself dream. Because, my friend, dreaming isn't wasting time. It's giving your mind the direction it needs to start building what you desire. Everything begins in your mind. When you imagine with clarity, you take the first step toward making it a reality. It's not just about dreaming, it's about using those dreams as a compass to guide your actions. So what are you waiting for? Start visualizing, start believing, and start shaping the life you've always wanted. And let me tell you something. Your best is yet to come. Trust in what's coming. Now let me share a story with you. Imagine you have a small garden and you decide to plant carrots. You prepare the soil, plant the seeds, and water them every day. In the first week, you check the soil with excitement, hoping to see green sprouts, but nothing happens. Am I doing something wrong? You wonder as you examine the dirt. You keep watering patiently, but another week passes and still nothing. Frustration starts to creep in. Is something wrong with the seeds? Maybe I'm not watering enough. But what you can't see is what's happening underground. The roots are hard at work growing, preparing to break through the surface. From above, it looks like nothing is happening, and that can drive anyone crazy. But don't give up. Everything you're doing is bearing fruit, even if you can't see it yet. And when those first shoots finally appear, it'll all have been worth it. Because, my friend, carrots aren't in a hurry. But when they come, they're strong, steady, and just as you imagined. Do you see now the same thing happens when you're trying to manifest what you truly desire? Even if it seems like nothing is changing, everything is moving in the right direction. Your intentions, your efforts, even your energy are paving a path you just can't see yet. And when you least expect it, that's when the results will arrive. Let's be honest, no one likes to wait. But what if I told you that patience isn't just sitting around, it's believing that while you do your part, the universe is doing its part too? As Marcus Aurelius said, nature doesn't rush, yet everything is accomplished. Think about a river. It doesn't matter how many twists and rocks it encounters, it never stops. It always reaches its destination, the ocean. Now imagine this. You're in a tough spot. You've decided your life needs a radical change. You quit your office job, sell everything you don't need, and set out to travel the world. Sounds exciting, right? But then reality hits. The first few weeks are a disaster. Your savings disappear faster than you expected. The jobs you thought you'd find aren't there, and you start questioning if you made a huge mistake. You find yourself trying to control everything, obsessing over finding an immediate solution. But then you remember you need to trust in what's coming. You start applying what you've learned. You relax, write down your intentions, visualize clearly what you want, and let go of some of that control. And then something unexpected happens. In a casual conversation, someone mentions an opportunity, a work exchange program where you can stay at hosts while traveling. This is exactly what I needed. You say, jumping with joy. But do you see, you wouldn't have found it if you hadn't let your guard down and trusted in what was coming. My friend, don't get it wrong. Trust doesn't mean crossing your arms and waiting for things to happen. You have to work at it. But when you trust in the process, that's when the opportunities you've been waiting for start to appear. You also need to relax and manifest everything you desire with calm. And when doubts creep in, because let's be honest, they will repeat this to yourself, I'm doing my part, the rest will come in its time. Write it down if you need to. Put it somewhere, you'll see it every day. It's a reminder that you're not alone in this process. Never forget to trust in what's coming, because while you're planting the seed, life is already working to make it grow. And when you least expect it, you'll be surprised by the fruits that you never imagined would come. It's as if the universe is quietly working behind the scenes, lining things up in ways you couldn't have anticipated. The key is to remain open, to trust that the process is unfolding exactly as it should. I invite you to embrace everything we've explored today. Let every pause, every visualization, every act of letting go, and every moment of trust be an opportunity to bring you closer to what you truly desire. Remember, every step you take, no matter how small it seems, has a purpose. In that calm and trust, there's no emptiness, only possibility. That's where your dreams are born, and that's where they begin to take shape in reality. Imagine it, every small action, every moment of faith is creating the path toward your ultimate goal. When you align with the process, everything starts to flow in the right direction. If you've made it this far, write in the comments, I relax and attract what I desire. That way I'll know who the true Stoic warriors are, those who made it to the end, committed to trusting the process and manifesting their dreams. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give this video a like so you don't miss out on what's coming next. I also invite you to check out our playlist, which you'll see on the screen. It's packed with ideas, stories, and advice to help you navigate life with more wisdom and confidence. Click it, and let's keep moving forward together. Until next time, take care and keep embracing your inner Stoic.